This is part one of how to write a critical study. In this part, I will explain how to gather information about your chosen artist. Sometimes your teacher will give you an artist to research, but other times you will need to be choosing an artist yourself based on your chosen theme. With this in mind, I would recommend you use websites like ArtToday or the Tate website in order to browse a selection of artists and then make your final selection. For this example, I'm going to look at the artist Andy Goldsworthy. I've divided up my critical study into 4 key areas. The first one is gathering some basic information about the artist. You'll need to look at the artist's work and research key information about them. These are the things that I recommend you look out for. Their nationality, so what country are they from? The dates that they were around, so for example, are they a current contemporary artist who's still alive and working, or are they from a key time in art history? An example of a contemporary artist would be Grayson Perry, or for example, Frida Kahlo was working in the mid-20th century. Are they associated with any art movements? So for example, if you were researching Salvador Dali, you should definitely mention Surrealism, or if you're researching Claude Monet, you should definitely mention Impressionism. You should also mention if they have got any notable or famous works of art. A good example would be if you were researching Antony Gormley, you should definitely mention the Angel of the North sculpture. And then finally, if there's any key elements of their style that you would like to refer to, then that's important as well. So for example, are they a sculptor or a painter or a photographer? For this example, I'm looking at Andy Goldsworthy, and I think it's important that I refer to the fact that he works with found objects within nature. There are definitely some things that you should avoid when conducting this research. For example, don't write down the artist's specific age. I guarantee that if you put something like Kate Malone is 46 years old, it will become out of date. And it might well be that the information you found online is already out of date. Also, don't use the artist's first name on its own. It's too informal. So you shouldn't put Pablo was known for painting and sculpture. You would put Picasso was known for both painting and sculpture. And then finally, just don't include lots of irrelevant or uninteresting details that are simply copied and pasted from the internet. You should be able to challenge yourself with this. Anyone can simply copy and paste. You need to be looking at information and actually selecting what you think is the most interesting or the most relevant to your project. I would recommend that you include around about 5 good bits of information about your chosen artist. Here's my example. Andy Goldsworthy is a contemporary British artist known for his site-specific installations involving natural materials. He was born in England but now lives and works in Scotland. Goldsworthy crafts his installations out of rocks, ice, leaves or branches, and documents the artwork through photography. He was hugely influenced by the land art movement and started producing work in the 1980s after studying art at university. Once you've written your paragraph of information about your chosen artist, you then need to choose one piece of their artwork in order to analyse it in more detail. If possible, find the title and the date of this piece, but it's not always possible to find that information. The piece I've chosen to use is Pebbles Around a Hole, which was created in 1987 by Goldsworthy. Guidance is continued in the next video, which is part 2, content.